Hey y'all, this season we're teaming up with our friends at Written Word Media. Self publishing can be a solitary gig, but book marketing doesn't have to be, even if you love it like April does. Written Word supports indie authors with email promos and ad services that actually work. Whether you're launching a new release or trying to breathe some life into a backlist title, they've got tools and real humans to help. We've met them, we really have, to help you reach the readers who are looking for books like yours. They can also help you grow your newsletter and find brand new readers.
Both Jen and I have used their services and we're huge fans. So head on over to writtenwordmedia.com and let them help you shine a light on your book.
Shine a light.
Hey everybody, April All Moon here with my lovely co-host.
Hello, it's Jen Laselle. Happy to be back.
Bringing you another episode of the Tough Love Publishing Podcast. Today, we are going to roll right into our vibe check, personal update, whatever you'd like to call it.
We're vibing.
Yes, we are. What do you have this week, Jen? What's going on?
I am still geeking out about my all-in-one digital organizer that I am creating in Notion. And it has like a daily dashboard that gives me all of my tasks. And I added in like personal and fitness plans and like everything. And there are cool ways to automate it. So, like if I add a to do list on my phone or to do item on my phone, it'll automatically update it to Notion. So, like everything's all in one place. And it's all like linked together. And I set up like projects and everything. I'm using the PARA method. It's projects, areas, resources, and archives. So it's kind of like a way to, I know it's so bougie that it has an acronym.
Yeah.
I love it. But it's what I've been looking for because I'm so distraction averse that like the smallest thing sends me down the, deepest rabbit hole there possibly is. And so it's even like if I focus on work, but then I taken aside because I remember, oh, I've got to do that other personal thing. Like it takes me out of the zone. So putting this all in one place is like just game changing. And so I've been setting it up. And then this morning I went to a coffee shop and I got my latte and I just started vibing, just entering all of the different like projects and tasks and just like brainstorming everything I could possibly think of. So it actually looks real and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So
That is fantastic. Do you just hear like angels singing every time you open it? Because
a
that's how
little
I
bit.
picture it.
Little bit, yeah, because it has like I even have like emojis on it. So like it's straight up a dopamine hit every time that I open it and look at it. And I think my ultimate goal is it's just like it's on my desktop and I just double click it and it's like, "Hello, Jen." It's like
Right into the focus funnel.
yeah,
Bam.
it's like Space Odyssey, right? It's like good morning, Dave, but it's just for me. Like that is where I'm going. Full on, y'all. If the robots take over, I'm gonna let them. I'm gonna be like, whatever you need. Thank you for making me not have to think anymore.
I mean, as long as there are still pets around, I think I'll survive the robot
Yeah,
revolution. I would not
yeah,
want to be without my dogs or eventually
yeah.
horses.
That's fair. I don't want a robot cat. I want a real cat who's
You know,
absent today. For those of you watching on video, my cat has not yet made an appearance, but we will likely see Butterfly in the near future.
she will come. I think it's the sound of my allergic voice. She knows.
She's like, oh, she sounds like I might irritate her allergies. I must
Yes,
go rub on the screen.
that's exactly what it is.
Cats are jerks, man. I love
Oh,
it.
they're adorable though. I wish
Yeah,
I was not allergic to them.
I know. Oh, so what's going on with you, my girl?
Um, it's been a very hectic week, but I am happy to report that I finished plotting a side project.
Yay.
This one's a little bit weird. I have plans to partially write it and then switch back to the last book in my current series.
Really?
Yes. So I think the interesting thing about plotting this book was mostly that I took a week off first,
Hmm.
and I wouldn't say I'm a workaholic per se, but I enjoy working.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like I don't know what to do with myself when I'm not working, but it's summer, the kids are out.
Yeah.
Um, And so I've been trying to be a lot more intentional about my work-life balance.
Sure.
And so I was like, okay, I finished the book. That was a really hard one. And sometimes a book comes easy, and sometimes a book just really does not.
Yeah.
And this last book that I finished did not come easy. So I was like, I'm exhausted. It's at the editor. I am taking a week off. And so, I mean, I binge watched crappy TV. We ordered takeout. We
Love
swam
it.
with the kids in the pool. We just kind of took a down week. But you know what? As hard as it was for me to not work that entire week, when I got back to it, it flowed so much faster. And I think that was exactly what I needed. So
No matter how many times we see the evidence that rest makes us more creative and more productive, we consistently tell ourselves the opposite.
it's like there's this pressure. I don't know if everyone feels this or if it's like a high achiever, high competition thing that I
It's
have
hustle
going.
culture. Yeah, it's hustle culture. It's a
It's
part of our
definitely
society.
something, but like I'm always that person who's looking at the next goal. And
Yeah.
so taking an intentional time out, um, it feels stressful at the start. And then when it's done, you're like, oh, I needed that.
Yeah.
So there's me.
I'm excited for you. I have vacation coming in a couple of weeks, and I'm really looking forward to it because I have not taken any time off all summer, and I'm just about ready.
Yeah, the summer when the kids are home is always challenging just because it's complete disruption to everybody's
Yes.
system
Yes.
and scheduling. And, the tiny humans are off, even if they don't know why they're off.
Yeah,
So
for sure. And they're always hungry in the summer. Like
they are. I swear both of my boys have grown several inches. So it's wild.
my 11-year-old is almost taller than me, and he was not at the beginning of the summer, but now he's like here. And I think by his birthday, for sure, I'm going to have a 12-year-old that looks down on me.
I think it's really important that we also tell the listeners that we're both short.
Yes, we are. That's true. To
I
be
don't think they
fair,
would know that.
we
Like
are not raising
I'm
giants. Yeah.
no, yeah, I'm super short and so is Jen. So like the kids getting taller than us would be impressive if we were like 5'9".
It was really just inevitable. Like,
My 8-year-old is already like chin level on me. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm not far
My
behind you
four,
there.
yeah, my 14-year-old rests her chin on my shoulder when we hug. Like she has to bend a little to hug me.
Oh my gosh, that's cute though.
It's nice that my 14-year-old girl still wants to hug me though, so I'm gonna take it and just go with it.
Well, that is lovely.
Yes. All right,
Okay,
let's
should we
talk.
dive in?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Today's topic, I'm sorry we made you wait so long for that, is sustainable
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
publishing.
Ooh, sustainable publishing. Oh,
And Jen, I believe you had the first point whenever you're ready.
I do. I first off, I love sustainable because it's become such a buzzword and like not just in our industry, but sustainability is like everywhere. And literally we were just talking about culture, right? And sustainability is almost the anti-hustle because it's about how can you do anything in a balanced way, and for in terms of publishing specifically, it's the question you have to ask yourself is what is my publishing schedule going to look like, not just today, or if you've never launched before, not just for my first book or my first three books or whatever, but what is my publishing schedule going to look like for life? Like, is there
Mm.
a way for me to sustain this publishing schedule? So a lot of that, there's a couple of varying factors about that. And I think the biggest one is your writing speed. And I have speed in quotation marks in my notes. Um, because I have consistently heard people say, I don't write fast. And yeah, and
Guilty as charged. Guilty as
April's
charged.
got her hands up. And I don't think I write particularly fast either. I think I write my first draft pretty quickly, but I edit super duper quote unquote slow. But it's not really fast or slow, right? It's just this is my pace. And
Yeah.
I have found in the past that I will make the assumption when I'm planning my year out, this is the year I'm going to write faster. Like This is the year I'm going to magically become more productive. I've been writing now for 6 years. Surely this is the year that that's all going to click into place. Yeah.
The switch is just gonna flip and
This
suddenly you're gonna be super Jen.
where is my magic hat that I put on and can suddenly create a book a day? Kudos to those of you who can, by the way. But and this was the point I was getting to with that. Even if you can write a book in a relatively quick time, does that mean you need to release it? Or
Mm.
can you give yourself some breathing room for future times when you're not able to write? Or, for example, if you have kids home during the summer and you find that you're less productive during the summer, or you're less productive over the holidays, or
Or
if,
even just because you're a human being and you need
oh,
breaks on occasion,
wait,
right?
what?
Like,
What? We're humans? What? No, I forgot about that part. Yeah,
don't even.
I know, right? I've said this before, but I live in the New Orleans area and Mardi Gras is a huge season for us. So it's like Christmas goes right into Mardi Gras almost immediately. So there's like a 6 to 8 week period where we are just marathon partying and I'm here for it and I'm gonna do it. So I can't expect myself to like be as productive like the day after a parade. I'm not going to wake up at 5 a.m. Y'all, I'm never going to wake up at 5 a.m. and write, but I'm definitely not going to do it after, a night of fun. So, but also, when is your editor available? What kind of turnaround time do they have? What about your cover designer? What turnaround time do they have? How much time do you want to give if you're doing advanced reader copies and you have an ARC team? How much time do you want to give them to read the book before it releases to get those launch day reviews? Um, Also, budget. I want to talk about budget. I know we're going to do some money episodes, but one
Mhm.
thing I find really interesting is that I have previously coached, I don't know, hundreds of authors. And I've met people that, they were like, I'm waiting. I'm going to do the rapid release. I've written my first 3 books. I've got the cover. And I'm like, well, how much money did you spend on all of these things? And, they just pulled it off a credit card or they pulled it from their household funds. And I believe that the book I'm writing today should fund the book I'm going to publish tomorrow
Mm.
in, a roundabout way. Like maybe not that
So,
exact, but I feel
yeah.
like my company should be able to fund
Mhm.
the next book.
So it's really interesting that you say that about the budget and rapid release because I've thought about that before and I've always wondered, especially for newer authors, I think it's a really hard expectation to assume that everybody's just got thousands of dollars lying around
Right.
to publish an entire series of books that quickly when the first ones haven't begun paying you back yet.
That's
And
exactly right.
so I have also wondered that myself. Yeah, but in the early days, it was definitely your household funds are funding the business to get started, you know. And
Sure.
there is a period in the very beginning where I think that's not only normal, I think that's expected to a degree, just
Hmm.
because well, until you have a product to sell, you can't earn anything, right? Like in
Yeah.
general. Although there are people making a liar out of me on that, like with the Substack and the Patreon, and like there are channels now that I did not pursue that I think people are trying to earn that money before they start. But just as a general A to B publishing
Right.
timeline, that is a lot of money to come up with up front.
It really is, especially if you're going to do it well, and you're going to do it right. We're probably past the point where people need to spend $1,000 on a cover, but there's still
Mhm.
at least a few $100s for a good one. And I rarely recommend making your own cover, especially if you write in any kind of a magical system. Like, you know what I mean? They have expectations, and readers can tell when a cover doesn't look professional. So I hate to see people build up their expectations and spend thousands of dollars on advertising and release promos and all of these different things. And they don't even know if they have a viable product to sell,
Yes.
or they saved that money by making their own cover and not having editing. And so it affects the outcome, or they don't know what they're doing yet, right? Because you
Mhm.
don't necessarily know what you're doing at the beginning. And even when you do know what you're doing, this is a chaos industry. And so go ahead.
Reading the reading the market is a learned skill. And I
Yeah,
think unless you are, again, probably a unicorn, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying it's few people who have the inherent skill set or the learned skill set from another industry to be able to come in, read the market, and slam it out of the park on the first swing. Like
right.
that is incredibly rare. And I think you're 100% right that until you know you have a viable product, I know that some people are cringing out there even hearing the word
Term
product
viable
fly
product.
to their book baby. So like
Right.
sorry to anyone who just cringed. I
Oh,
acknowledge that. But when we look at it from the marketing side, a book is a product that they could see on a shelf
yeah.
and, decide to grab it. But if you don't know if that product belongs on that shelf or even in that same section of the building, of that bookstore, then you're going to have a really rough time. So
I agree. And if you're forcing yourself to release like 3 books a year and you can't write in a way that makes it easy to release 3 books a year, you are setting yourself up for burnout. Put the market
absolutely.
aspect aside. There is a period where whether you like it or not, you are going to hit like mental limits, physical limits, emotional limits, and
Or
you
your
want
circumstances
or
change.
your circumstances change. Absolutely. There's a million different things that can go right or wrong, and they alter the way that you write, and how quickly you write and how often you write. So you want to keep those things in mind when you're planning your publishing schedule.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. I think that dovetails nicely into my next point about like taking the pressure off of what everyone else is doing or saying you should do.
Yeah.
Because so what if everybody else is publishing a book every month
Yeah.
or every other month or even 5 books a year? Like whatever the speed is that you are comparing yourself to, whatever the launch size you're comparing yourself to, whatever the budget you're assuming that person has, for starters, we can only infer from the outside. We don't actually know. And
Right.
we don't actually know, well, maybe that person has an entire marketing team.
Right.
Maybe that person has a spouse that works full time in the business and runs all their ads for them.
Right.
Maybe that person has no children and, has a housekeeper. I don't know. There's 1,000 different ways that
Right.
we all differ, and it's not all visible from the outside. So,
Yeah.
whenever you're comparing yourself to other people that don't have the same life circumstances that you,
Hmm.
or that maybe have a different capacity for work than you do,
Right.
like as a competitive, high achieving person, I will work myself into the ground and enjoy every minute of it, for
Right.
the most part. But that's not everybody, and that's not healthy for everybody.
Yeah.
So I think that comparison and the pressure that we just feel from the industry or from what other people are doing, the sooner we set that down, the better off we're going to be.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we talked in one of the past episodes about priorities and what priority your publishing business is in your life. And for some of us, for example, like I am a mom first and I run a publishing company second. And sometimes I get down on myself if I don't quote unquote write enough or quote unquote work enough hours. But that is my second priority, right? And
Right.
I have to remember that that's because I did the other thing, the life thing first. And so that's gonna, if you're putting pressure on yourself and comparing yourself to someone with different obligations or no obligations, you're just putting a pressure on yourself that is completely arbitrary and external.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I know I will acknowledge that it's way easier said than done. And it's really easy to feel like you're doing something wrong or that you're missing out on something whenever you see people doing what you perceive to be better than what you are doing. But what I will say is, who gets to determine what's best for you? That
Right.
is you,
Right.
right? And
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be the same best for somebody else.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I'm going to leave because there's something I would want to say on that, but I'm looking ahead a little. And spoiler alert, your tough love moment is nailing it for me. So
Okay.
I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to talk about managing reader expectations because this is another
Awesome.
area where your publishing schedule, A, even if you can write fast It doesn't necessarily mean you need to publish fast. And obviously, we're using fast and slow to mean different things for different people, but I don't want my readers to expect a book a month from me when I cannot conceivably produce a book a month for the rest of my life or even the next 2 years. My readers, when they come to me, know that I only release every 4 to 6 months. That is what I do. I
Yeah.
make that clear in my newsletter. I make it clear in my communications with them. And I provide, like, fun little Easter eggs or teasers in newsletters as I'm writing. Like I invite my readers to join me in the process. So they haven't completely forgotten about me, which is what our greatest fear is, right? That somebody's going to read
Oh,
our book
yes.
and then, yeah, it's like, wait, if I
You've
don't
lost them,
publish,
they're gone. You'll
yeah,
never get them back. Like, how many
yeah.
times have we heard that?
Oh my gosh. And it's in your head too. Like, even if logically like it's in your head and you're like, oh, they're going to forget about me. They're never going to come back. And I mean, the sad truth is maybe some will, but they probably weren't your fans to begin with, right? Like they probably only liked your book. They didn't like love it. And if your advertising is on point, you're going to capture them again anyway because your algorithm's going to pop your book right up in front of them again in a perfect world.
So, what I will say is this. Have you ever had a delicious treat from the grocery store that's a seasonal item? Like that they only carry it certain times of the year and like, oh man, that was amazing. Well, then, okay, Christmas is gone, spring comes, it's all the end of the school year stuff, summer comes, we're all melting. Ah, and then it comes back around to that beautiful Christmas season or
Yeah.
whatever your holiday that you personally celebrate is. It's the winter holiday season. Okay.
Mhm.
And you walk into the grocery store and there is that delicious treat. Do you enjoy it any less because it's been a year since you last had it?
No, you're thrilled to see it. You're thrilled to see it.
Yes.
I
And it
mean,
brings back that feeling of like, oh my gosh, I remember how much I loved that last year. And you
yep,
immediately grab it and you throw it in the cart and you're excited all the way home until you get to eat that treat. I
it's
won't even judge you if you crack it open in the car because I've done that before. But my point being that even if a reader who really loved your book does lose track of you for a while, as long as you stick with it and you are sustainable and you're still in the market, you're still showing up and you're still publishing at your right pace, there's
Mhm.
a great chance that they're going to find you again and it's going to give them that feeling
That's a
that,
nice
oh my
feeling.
gosh, I love that so much. And look, now she's put out 3 more books and I get to binge read
Like,
four. You know, and I
read
go
them
back.
all. Yes.
Yes. And like that I prefer to think of it like that. If they lose me for a while, they will find me again and it will be a delightful surprise.
It's like the pumpkin spice latte or I won't say a franchise name, but that makes a certain sandwich and they're like,
Mhm.
this sandwich is back every year. And people are like, oh my gosh, I remember that. That's so exciting.
And despite knowing that that's a known part of human behavior, that we expect and anticipate things that we can't get all the time, we
Mhm.
still want to put ourselves down as authors that, like, oh, if I can't produce constantly or
Yeah.
consistently,
Yeah.
because I think, I don't want to focus too much on the rapid part, but even if you have something, you have to take a break, you have a medical issue or you move to a
Right.
different country. Like, there's a
Right.
ton of things that could make you have an interruption to your normal schedule, whatever that is.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that readers won't find you again.
Absolutely, I agree. And there are successful writers on all ends of the spectrum. There are writers who only release a book a year or every two,
Mhm.
and there are those that rapid release or write every month or every other month. And the importance is finding out which one you are, not in a perfect world, but in the current one. And the realistic one, not what you want to be. Because the truth is,
Yeah,
we will never fully satisfy our readers anyway.
absolutely.
Like, you could
Absolutely.
give them a book
And
every day and they would be like, more, please. They're
yes.
Oliver with the porridge immediately. Like,
So the only thing I will add to the managing reader expectations piece is that you're no matter what your schedule is, you are not going to make every reader happy.
yeah,
And I think that is a hard truth that it's better to just like know that,
yep,
prepare yourself mentally for it, and just say, okay, I cannot make everyone happy, and I am not going to put myself on the altar of trying to make everyone happy.
Right, right,
right? Like that is not, I'm not going to sacrifice myself to the concept that if I just do a little more,
right.
everyone will love me, everyone will be happy with me, because it's not going to happen. And I think it's just better to know, okay, for the small percentage of people who will not be happy with my best effort, I can set that aside and I can say, those are not my readers.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. And they're going to, your readers are going to find you and or you will work and help them find you. And then you will have successful launches, which pivots really nicely to April's next point. Do you see how I did that
Okay.
smooth transition? I'm like butter.
You're a smooth criminal, Jen LaSalle. Anyways, okay, so my next topic or point of conversation was that a book is more than just one launch day,
Yeah.
right? I think as indies, um, we see tons of people in all the groups asking, like, what do you do for launch? What's everything I can do for launch? I want the biggest launch ever.
Hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with the impulse to want to be bigger and better and more awesome than you were last time or
Hmm.
whatever. Like, no shade to that whatsoever. However, a launch is more than just a day. A book and its value and its worth to you as a business, as a backlist, as a writer who loved that piece of work that you created
Hmm.
is all much more long lasting than a single day's success or failure, if you want to call it failure, even. Um, so, what I would say is that if you want to be sustainable in the publishing industry, that it's really important to focus on supporting a book, promoting a book,
Yeah.
marketing a book, sharing a book well past release day.
Yeah.
So, I would encourage you to look at what am I doing for release month?
Yes.
What am I doing for release quarter? How am I going to continue supporting this book this year and beyond? Right. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid to focus on evergreen tactics that it might start off slower, but in the end, be amazing for a long time.
Yeah, and that even ties in with managing reader expectations because you are still providing them with something, even
Mhm.
if it's not your first, like the new release, right? Like
Right.
even if it's like a teaser or something, like there are things that you can do to sustain because even everybody on your newsletter is not going to buy your book on release day.
Nope.
Even, you know what I mean? They're going to miss the email or they were on vacation and they meant to get back to it. And then a month later, 2 months later, your email is going to come in, your newsletter is going to come in. And oh my gosh, I never got that book. I'm going to go get it right now. Right. I mean, that's the nature of readers. And yeah, you definitely want to think about a book beyond the launch day, especially because some of the launch ratings and reviews and things like that take more than a day to show up in our current
Yeah.
environment. And yeah,
So that was not on our list for this episode, but I think it's very good timing to discuss the fact that a lot of the factors are going to be outside your control.
yeah,
And sometimes the thing that's going to make you stick around in this industry is just acknowledging that you can't control that
hmm,
and say, okay, if I can't change the fact that a certain major platform is doing something crazy right this
hmm,
minute and
right,
books aren't selling or rates aren't moving or whatever, what can I change? What
right.
can I do? What levers are mine to pull and what are not? And take
Yeah.
your hands off the ones that aren't yours.
Yes, as a huge Swiftie, I often sing in my head, "The story isn't mine anymore," which is a line from one of her songs because it's literally about that. Like once you have generated that product and you put it into the world, there is very, very little that you can control about how people respond to it, how well it's going to do, how what path it's going to take to success. And you particularly, April, have had to remind me multiple times this month or this year because my book one launched in December. My book two was not launching until June. And I was doing a lot of preparation in anticipation of the fact that book one is going to do well. And it's been doing, I'm very happy with it. But book two leveled everything up. And I had to wait for that to happen. But I didn't want to shorten my publishing schedule because I cannot write at a speed that would sustain that. So I wanted that book thing to happen sooner, but it wasn't realistic with my life and my writing and everything like that. And book two, like it had to be yanked out of me with like old school forceps, man. It was like lodged deep inside of me. That was too
What a
visceral.
mental image. I was envisioning a four-wheel drive truck with a chain, but all right, we can go forceps, I guess. Podcast just took a turn. Anyways,
Hey, read my
you
books.
did.
They're very descriptive, right?
Oh my gosh. But you are right. The book was giving you a hard time for sure.
Yeah, I think hard time is an understatement, but yes, it fought me tooth and nail. So, yeah, so watching it succeed now, and it's been out of a full month at this point, it's still continuing. Like it has a longer tail than book one
Mhm.
even had, right? And
Absolutely.
and it's bringing up my backlist and it's improving pre-orders for book three. Like those things are all just they're kind of happening on their own, this snowball effect that reminds me that maybe the launch day was good or even mediocre, but it wasn't the end of the story. It was really the beginning.
It's not. And I am four books deep on my flagship series right now. Book five is with the editor, and every single book, I just get so pleasantly surprised all over again at
Right.
how high you can actually go,
Yeah.
even with books that are a year old, right, or longer.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, there's just so much more to a book's life than one day.
It's so fascinating too, because so much of that is like just that deeply embedded imposter syndrome or this idea
Mm.
that your success is a fluke or it's not good enough or I'm not good enough. Like all of those things go through your head. And so we're kind of desperately searching for tangible like receipts, if you will, of proof that we are good enough or we are successful. And so a big launch day has become one of those things that makes you feel like a successful author,
That's
quote unquote, right? But then if you put so much stock into it, then you just start living for launch day. And
Oh, yeah.
that is not a sustainable publishing practice.
Okay, so I slightly disagree with you
I
there.
knew you would.
Okay, because number six competition, high achiever, launch days are so exciting. And I
Mhm.
think that it's okay to admit that we don't get that level of excitement 365 days a year, right?
Sure.
Like we can still love this career and this industry and say, like, launch days are amazing. And it's a little
Yeah.
bit of a bummer when there's not something exciting happening. But I do agree that you can't only live for the launch day, right? There's
Exactly.
got to be a balance to it for sure.
I
But
think
like you can pry launch day rank stocking out of my Colton.
I mean, I may or may not be guilty of staying up with midnight with you to see your books rank improve. Mostly I just do it to make sure the pre-orders go through, and like
Yeah,
once
me
I
too.
start to see that the wheels are grinding, I'm good to go. But yeah, I tend to try and disconnect on launch day. I am the opposite. I don't want to sit and watch everything all day because if I had my expectations at a certain level and it doesn't meet it, that's going to bum me out. So I would
It is.
rather let whatever's going to happen and then assess it at the end of the day and the end of the week and the end of the month and, go from there.
It's a double-edged sword. I think this is one of those cases where knowing yourself
Yeah,
is so important. Like, what is healthy for you? What level of engagement with that
right.
kind of thing is healthy for you? Because some people may not need to look at the rank ever at all,
Yeah,
right? Like, as
yeah.
long as you're making the money you want to make, or as long as you're thrilled that readers are reading your book, maybe the rank doesn't matter to you, and that's also okay. So,
I will also say, though, one interesting thing about launch day, now that we're talking about it, is that I tend to not be able to move on from a book until launch day. Like, even if the book is done and
mm,
uploaded, in my mind, I'm still quote unquote working on that book until launch day. And it's very difficult for me to work multiple projects. When you just said that about doing a side project and then going back to book six, I cried a little because I could never. Yeah. But that's a great gift to have if you have it where you can multitask or work on multiple projects.
I can do some things. I struggle with the writing.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
the writing is the most creative, deepest part for me.
Hmm.
I consider the writing to be sacred on a level. Like that is my art, that is my work.
Hmm.
However, I can do other things. Like I can run ads to multiple things. I can do like blurbs and admin tasks, and like there's a
Yeah.
whole bunch of other stuff that I can do. And
Yeah.
even the plotting. But I think part of that is because the plotting is not part of that sacred writing for me. It's just kind of like brainstorming almost because I will constantly move my plots the entire time I'm writing the book. And I always laugh when I get reviews that are like, wow, I was so surprised when this happened. I was like, me
Me too.
too.
Yes.
That was not in the plot.
I
Like
was shocked.
I always make best efforts to plot, and then I just literally I plot on index cards.
Yeah.
We were not planning to talk about that, but I literally plot on index cards, and then I will like lay them all out and be like, oh, that's not happening there anymore. That's going to move here, and I'll just
Yeah.
shuffle the entire time.
I
So
know I don't plot very much at all. So we live very different worlds, but we're going to talk about that
okay,
in a future podcast or possibly a past one, depending on what order these go in. But that
fair, really
moment,
fair.
yeah, that moment when you're writing book like 3 or 4 of a series and you realize you planted a seed in book 1 and you didn't even know you did it. And then you're like, oh, it just bloomed is just magic. It's writer magic.
Okay. I know you don't like Big Bang Theory, but you're going to have to forgive me for making a reference here for anyone that has seen that show that they're doing this like scavenger hunt thing and Sheldon like whips a bowling ball out of his bag and goes, "My brain is better than everyone else's." That's what it feels like when you hit that moment and you're like, "Oh, like it all comes together so beautifully."
Oh, I have a movie reference that's very similar, but it's not safe for work. So, enjoy those moments.
Yes. Yes.
All right, my
All right. Are
friend.
we ready for the tough love moments?
Let's
Dun, dun,
let's do our
dun.
tough love moments. You go
All
first.
right, I'm gonna go first because I'm the tougher. I'm gonna
I
be
don't think you
mean.
are. I think you might be the love
Oh,
on this one.
what? Okay.
I feel like
There's
mine's
a
tough.
hole in the space-time continuum. Anyways, all right. So my tough love for today is that changing your plans when your circumstances change isn't a failure. It's adaptability, and sometimes it's exactly what you need to stay successful in this industry for the long haul.
Yeah, I love that. There are no, I mean, everything is a learning opportunity, right? Like there's no
Mhm.
final in the indie author world, and that's very
Eh,
cool. Even if you
I
have been
love that.
writing rapid release this whole time and you're like, I can't do it anymore. Fine, don't. That you can make that pivot. It's awesome.
You can.
So see, that's a loving one because mine's tough.
Okay.
All
Okay. We're
right.
swapping roles
We're
today. Go ahead.
swapping roles. We're Freaky Fridaying here.
Hit me.
Okay. Life does not stop moving so that we can do a thing. No matter how badly we want it to.
Ouch.
Going
That
back
is accurate though.
Yeah, no, like going back to this like daily dashboard that I've been trying to create, I was adding to-do list items and then I was like, wait, no, I need to do that now. I can't wait until it's in my system, right? Because I have a life that I have to lead. And so like you can tell yourself that the world's going to stop for 2 weeks while you just buckle up and write a book. It's not. This is like I need a
Mhm.
vacation from my vacation land. You know what I mean? It's like I
Yep,
need I need writing time to recover from my writing time is what's going to happen. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
All right. Well, I love it. That was it today.
Yeah.
And if you have any thoughts on what makes your publishing journey sustainable, please leave us a comment.
Yeah.
Either on YouTube if you watched the video version or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Yeah. We
For
did
now,
we
we
did
will
get a
say,
oh, I was gonna say we
oh,
we did get a cat appearance, very brief cat
hi,
appearance.
butterfly.
She also may have meowed into the microphone at one point.
I did not hear it. I wasn't
Good.
talking at the time.
Good. Anyway,
But
we're wrapping up.
for this week, bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
And before we go, I wanted to take a moment again to say thank you to our friends at Written Word Media for supporting season 1 and this episode. If you're an indie author looking to reach more readers without losing your mind or your writing time, check out their email promos and ad services. They make book marketing feel doable. And if you're anything like me, you might even find it fun.
Head to writtenwordmedia.com and take the next step in getting your book into the right reader's hands.